Hello, welcome back. It is the new year, and it is the new year as I'm recording this as well. And I'm going to be showing off my top 5 favorite Funko Pops and manga I've read as of the new year, and I'll do it again next year and see what changes in my collection and what I like more. Some of them I don't think will change. It depends on my opinion on the character, but let's get into it with, in no particular order, the first pop I'm showing is Colonel Sanders here. And I remember when I bought this one, it's a long time ago actually, and he just happens to be one of my favorites. And when I bought him, I loved KFC, and I ate it as much as I could until they took off my favorite item, or I think they took it off. They did something, it was weird, and so I don't eat there as much anymore. But he is one of my favorite pops, and I also love the character Colonel Sanders. Along with on the back, I love the detail. Your favorite fried chicken salesman is now your favorite collectible. He is my favorite fried chicken salesman as well. He's like the only one, but he is one of my favorite pops. He may not be very rare, but I really love the box as well, and he's definitely on my top 5. And that's saying a lot. I'm like 91 pops, so being top 5 is saying a lot. Next up is one of my favorite anime characters, Trafalgar Law. If you can't tell, I watch a ton of One Piece. I'm almost caught up. I'm getting there, and I really like this character once I got to like Dressrosa, um, and he just became one of my top favorites, especially after his backstory. His backstory was so good. Um, I loved it so much, and it was sad at the same time, but also was really cool. And yeah, I remember at first I was like, wait, he's such an edge lord in the beginning of his backstory. It's kind of sad to see as well, but I just love this character, and I also love his pop. One of my favorite anime characters, Tamaki Amijinki. If you can't tell, if you watch my content, you know some people call me Tamaki just because I use that name when I play video games and like on Discord, and so people start calling me that, and they don't know my real name, so I just go with that. I let them call me what they want most of the time. Depends what they call me. And I do think the hand, it looks weird, but it makes sense if you know his quirk, and it's just a really good design as well. The Hot Topic exclusive Luffy Taro. I think the metallic on this one looks very good. Um, I I remember searching it for so long because I was out of town, and that's why it's in a hard stack as well. It made it easier to take home. But I searched everywhere. I went to so many hot topics, and I didn't know I could find it on Instagram if I tried. And so I just searched for a long time. And then I just happened to find it when I wasn't looking, and I was like, okay, I have to pick it up. And there's still like 20 of them. So I'm very lucky I found one. And I really love the metallic on this Luffy Taro. And then one of my favorite pops that came out probably this year is the Kakashu Ambu. And I personally like the common more than the chase. Just looks so much better with the Sharingan. I don't know why they didn't do it the other way, because it would have sold much more if they did it the other way. It still sold a lot. It's Funko, people buy it out, but it's just super cool to have in my collection, and it's one of my favorite Kakashi pops as of today. Except for his new how do I pronounce it? I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. His new Hot Topic exclusive. Let's just say that because I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Is super cool as well. I'm kind of sad that it include like a small Kakashi like we've seen him do in the past with their larger figures. But it would have been it's still really cool to have. Oh wait, it's his Kakashi Susanoo. Okay, I can pronounce Susanoo correctly. Yeah, that's the one. All right, so that's my top 5 Funko Pops. Some of my favorite ones in my collection. I have a ton. I even have a lot of the new Demon Slayer ones, and so it's not easy to get into this top 5. And they really just have to be by bias because I love all these characters. Okay, so next up is manga. This one I don't actually own, but my friend let me read it, and I really like it. He also wants me to promote it on my channel because he wants it to get recognition. It is called Undead Unluck. I really love Volume 3. Volume 3 is probably my all-time favorites. You get introduced to a bunch of characters, and they all go into combat. You don't know all their abilities, but they fight I don't want to go into spoilers. They fight this really OP guy and win. Obviously, they have to win, sort of. Um, in the beginning, and you get introduced to like the main characters, the main cast of characters. It's super cool. All their abilities are amazing, and it's a very good volume. And it left you on a good cliffhanger as well. And I don't know how it's gonna go. It could go either way. Even if they're one of the main characters, I feel like it can go either way. But it is one of my favorite volumes of manga I've read, and I haven't read too many. I say I've read like 30 volumes of manga, but it has been one of my favorites as of today, as of this new year, and we'll see what my top 5 looks like next year, I guess. Alright, you better believe I brought in Demon Slayer, and this volume right here is one of my all-time favorite volumes of all the ones I've read so far. I love this one the most, and it's because you get to see a whole bunch of how should I say this without spoiling it? Tanjiro and Nezuko, they both go like Super Instinct, and it's very cool. They unlock like another form, if you will, like when Naruto unlocked like the Nine Tails. Think of it something like that, and I was so excited. I was like, I didn't expect that kind of boosted yet, but they did, and it was super epic. And it does have its drawbacks, just like the Nine Tails does with Naruto. But it was a really, really good volume. And seeing Izui fight as well. He's becoming one of my favorite characters, and I hope it doesn't end up like Rengoku. I really do. Now, this next one's one of my all-time favorite anime, and that is Doctor Stone. So far, I have volumes. What volumes do I have? I have volumes 1, 4, 2, and 6, because 3 and 5 are impossible to find these days. But volume 2 has been my favorite so far. They make. I think this is the one where they make gunpowder, and they fight Taiju. Was it Taiju? No, it's not Taiju. They fight Tsukasa, and I really like this episode. It's also when they go to a hot spring. And Taiju is one of my favorite characters as well. He reminds me of a good friend of mine, and I really like this volume. The next one is 2 volumes actually of one series, and it's volume 2 and 4 of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. I'm gonna hold one up at a time. So I really like volume 2. They gave one of my favorite villains a backstory, and I'm gonna go into spoilers. His name was Stain. They give Stain a backstory, and I absolutely loved it. I loved every bit of it, and when Knuckle Duster fought him and took his nose off, just like Stain doesn't have a nose, I thought that was very interesting, and I didn't expect him to do that going into this series, and it was very nice to see. Volume 4 is my favorite, because seeing when okay, Knuckle Duster. Just to get this out of the way, Knuckle Duster is one of my favorite characters in this series, and watching him fight his daughter, who was being controlled by like a hive of bees, is was very intense. And like when he got shocked, he had to like use a defibrillator to control it, and so he can be alive again and keep fighting. And it was super cool. And so far, it's probably my favorite volume of Vigilantes. And but we'll see. I haven't finished it. I still have to buy 3 more volumes, and I'll be caught up. And but we will see. Volume, I forgot. Was it volume 8 or 7? Volume 8 had good backstory as well, but not quite my favorite. On to an honorable mention of this year is the Full Metal Complete Art book. I really love this book, and seeing the art of Full Metal, one of my well, I just finished it. It's one of my favorites now. I love Full Metal Alchemist. It's so cool. I definitely don't think it's overrated. Jeez, a lot of people like it, but I love it. And so I had to get this, and it's such a nice addition to my collection. Especially as an artist, I love seeing all the art in the series. And so looking through and seeing how it evolved is super cool. And yeah, it's a really nice thing to have. If you like Full Metal, I do recommend it. And I can name a lot of these characters on the front as well, but I won't go into that. Piece art book. I also love having this one, and as an artist, it's good to have references if I want to draw like a Nami and I need reference. It's nice to have, as well as like if I need inspiration as well. It's super cool to see how it evolved as well, and seeing it in color as well. I keep saying as well. Having it in color is something you don't get when you're reading like manga. If you're watching the show, you get color, but you don't get the art. Um, but I thought these were 2 honorable mentions that are in my collection, and that's about it. Um, Yeah, those are probably my favorite things currently in my collection right now. I do have like figures as well. Um, I can show off. And if you're wondering, the camera's shaky today. I had to move it a lot with my hands to get the right angles. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully, we get that taken care of. But these are my favorite things in my collection as of the new year. And I'll probably do another one next New Year. It depends. I say I do a lot of things and I don't. But I'll see you in the next one.